Welcome back, Mosh Pit Podcast. I know you know these people. You've seen her a lot and him a lot, and she's tattooed me at a previous podcast, and we've hung out before, had dinner. We are back in LA once again, and it is like a refresher after doing all this stuff at Aftershock and all this stuff this year. Brianna hit me up and I just said, like I always do, let's do it. And I am really excited to talk about all the stuff you guys have accomplished this year, starting with going to the UK, doing some shows out there, and then doing like Jailbreak in Denmark, and the other one was the Baltic Open Air in Germany. Mm-hmm. What was that like?
It was awesome. Yeah, it was great. We had a really good time. Denmark, man, the crowd was like another level of like just so much energy. It was so much fun. And then we got to explore Hamburg a lot. We're mainly there in Hamburg and Germany. And it's a great time.
Yeah.
You just got to see all the things, the Reeperbahn. It was just super fun. It was just fucking awesome.
And the Reeperbahn, so you can know that is like kind of like a red light district, but nothing like too crazy unless you go into certain places. But it was super fun. And yeah, and we have gone to the UK. We didn't go this year, but we've gone 2 years ago to play in the UK before. And it was really, really fun. The crowd there are really amazing too. But yeah, in Denmark, it was so much fun. The food was so good. And then in Germany, we actually stayed at our agent's house over there. And it was this beautiful, like, but big, like, German style cottage, like with the hay still on it and everything. The moss, it was beautiful. But yeah, it was a really good time and I really enjoyed it. And am I close enough?
No, you're all good.
Okay, so make sure. And it was definitely a really awesome experience. Also with our other band members too. It was nice. We got to know them a little bit more. They got to know us a lot more. And it was just like we kind of all threw ourselves into the fire, but like in the best way, because like we got really close and we got to learn like what we like, what we don't like. And that's a part of like the experience with them playing those two festivals. Mm-hmm. It was very cool because it was sometimes some of their first as well.
Yeah. And like what was like, I know you're saying you tried like a bunch of great food. What was your favorite food out there? Because I want to go out there eventually.
Oh my gosh, we had the burgers. Those, what are they called?
Burgers? What burgers?
Remember we had those burgers that they were made out of deer? Venison.
Venison?
Have you ever had that before?
I have had venison.
Oh my gosh.
I've never had burgers.
They were like the best venison burgers. Best burgers of my life. And they had like these really good fries and they had this like, you know how those places have the best house dips? You know what I mean? Like they had like yellow or like white or whatever house dips. Oh my goodness. It was so good. That was something I really enjoyed. It was like freshly made there. Like the people were making it right there for you. So that's what I really enjoyed. Oh, I also really enjoyed elderflower is a big thing over there in drinks. So elderflower alcoholic drink. It's super refreshing. It's so good. They put like fresh fruits in it. I had like 3 of those. They're so good. That's what I could.
We ate so much good food because our bass player Daniel, he was just like, he would look up all the best like restaurants, and so we went to that one place that had venison, and that place their whole thing is like, they have like all kinds of like American style foods, but only with like game like meat. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like venison and other stuff like that. We went to like this really good breakfast place in Denmark, which was like awesome and it was like beautiful.
And then they had elderflower tea there. I was like obsessed with that. I was like, oh my goodness. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and the nature there was beautiful too. We went canoeing.
Yeah.
Kayaking. We went kayaking, and it was really pretty.
That's Mosh Pit Podcast tour in Germany. I would love it in the future.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Comment Germany down below if you want to see me go.
Yes.
Speaking of like traveling and everything, where would you, if you could pick one spot to live for the rest of your life anywhere in the world, or even have a spot where you can vacation, where would it be?
I'm gonna be honest, Germany.
Germany?
Yeah, after going there, I mean, all of our people are over there in the sense of like our manager, our agency, our label, all the headquarters are there. So that's great for us. But all the people there are really amazing. It's just so beautiful. And I don't know, like if I'm based in Germany, like there's so many different countries I could just travel to like really easily. But I really love it. It's definitely something I see in the future for sure. I'd want to for music reasons, since we're always going to Europe. It's like at this point, like if we like get like a festival, like many festivals, and then like opening up slots, I would be like, okay, I think we should like kind of have a grounds there for like a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, I'd say Germany too. I mean, we've been there so many times. I've just like really fallen in love with it, because it's also like, I don't know. It's like for me, it's still kind of familiar in a way to LA and stuff. Like, it's, you know, but it's also Europe, you know. So, but it's not like so unfamiliar and such a culture shock. I feel like that I really just feel like I would be comfortable there, you know.
Yeah, I think if like I ever like retired and like wanted to like set shop somewhere, I'd love to have like a little cottage in Iceland.
Nice.
In the hills, and just be in a village where there's like everybody knows everybody, and just like be comfortable, grow everything, and like just.
That's amazing.
I've always wanted to go there, and like, I've done so much research on Iceland.
You're like you're gonna go one day.
Yes, like ever since I think it was middle school when I saw the black sand beaches in Iceland, I was just like. People are like, oh, there's black sand beaches other places. I'm like, yeah, but it's just the way the mountains look next to it.
That's amazing. I need to search it up and see.
They have like the heaviest bands of all time, you know.
Yeah.
Like, the cutest little cottages, and they have like black metal or whatever. You know?
Yep.
Yeah, dude.
I know, like,
awesome.
It's just like, I'm a big extrovert, but I enjoy my introvert time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like I'll go travel, come to like LA or go somewhere, Vegas. I need to travel way more, but when I like go places and stuff, I get back and like I just like try to have like a day to myself, just to not think about music, just like either write or meditate or anything, like watch movies or order food. It just, I learned that this year out of like how much I've like, because I'm at like right now on my YouTube's like 56 bands I've had on right now.
Wow.
And it's just like go all the time, and I just need my times where I just need to decompress.
It's important. It's very important.
Yeah. Even if you like really love something, just doing it all the time and having your like, I mean, I totally get that with music, where like, I mean, after playing a lot or like recording a lot, I'm like, I don't even want to fucking hear music. I just want to relax and like, you know, have my time away from that, do something else, come back to it fresh.
It's good to have balance.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And like, speaking of like balance and like all this stuff, I know, Brianna, you're like big on like not accepting all the stuff you've accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
You always look back and you like can see how you're proud of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone watching was like, I wanna do this, but it's the first step, 'cause you know how the first step getting in this industry is always the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to them about how you could relate with them?
I would definitely say the first step in anything is always the hardest. Me and Nico go to the gym, and a big thing in the gym, it's always like the hardest thing to walk in, but when you get out, you feel so refreshed, and you're like, oh, I can take on the day. I'm like super happy. Kind of take it on like that. If the advice I'd give to someone if they're first starting off is to really choose your bandmates wisely and make sure that they have like the same goals and aspirations as you. Obviously things change, so you don't really know all the time, but it's really important. That's something I would do. If I could go back, kinda, not really, I don't know. It just depends, because on that too, like a big part of doing anything, music, doing art, doing whatever, there's going to be a lot of mistakes, there's going to be a lot of trial and errors, and like I've learned, like it's not just a straight shoot to the top. Like it's, to any successful person, any like person that's like from here to zero to 100, they didn't just get 0 to 100. They were like 0, 50, 40, 80, 60, you know, all the way, and it takes time. And I think that's something that like I struggle with personally, but that's something I would tell people if they, you know, don't be afraid to do it, because things take time. Like, I don't know, like, you know who Chapel Roan is, right?
It sounds familiar.
Yes, you do. I know.
I probably do.
Yes, you do. Don't worry. Anyways, I didn't know of her until she's like a very big pop singer right now, and I didn't know of her until like recently, and then she just blew up. But her story is she's been working on it for like 10 years of her life, and from what I had heard, and this like goes with the question, by the way, she was in LA. Some things didn't work out. It was like year 9, and she moved back to her hometown. Was working at Dunkin' Donuts, and she was just like, I'm going to go back one more time, you know what I mean, and see if I can make it. And now she's, like, huge. But going with that, it's, like, from the beginning, I see videos of her, like, it says 3 or 4 years ago, and she's playing at a park, like a piano at a park, and no one's watching her. But she was consistent and kept going and kept going and kept going. So I feel like that's something, I think the biggest thing is consistency. Like, if you feel like there's a roadblock and you're like, oh, it's a sign I should stop, I think it's a sign you should keep going. Yes. Because that's what a lot of people will be like, oh, I was doing this, but then or I was in a band, but then this didn't happen, or I wasn't whatever, and it's like, well, why? It's like, oh, well, someone left the band, or I had to move, or something like that. And like, you can always find a reason to keep going, you know, and at the right time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had those times too, where I've like, a lot this year too, because like there's times where I leave shows, I'm like really happy, but then I get home and go, is this gonna be worth it, or is it not? Like, is it? There's just so many like things that go through my head, because like you just, but then I look at like my whole like past of what I've done and with the risks I used to take, and like what I used to like do just to talk to a band, and I was just like, you didn't care. You watch these videos, you made these videos just for you, to just have talk about your life, but also talk about their life and hear their story and how you can relate. And that's what keeps me going, is because I do it not only for me and the bands, I do it, I mean, not just for the bands, but like just like for me as well.
For your soul, you know, like it fills you up.
Yeah, because like being able to like know that I'm, like I was talking about this thing yesterday, I was like, this is now a part in all of our lives. This moment right here. This will forever be a part in all of our lives. So that's just the wild part of it, and this is now a part of like our storyline. Yeah. And that's always what I think about. It's just like, you've been a part of a lot of these artists' storylines, and that's just blows my mind every day. And if my young self could see what I'm doing, it'd probably be like, the fuck?
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, speaking of like a part of the storyline, I still have your would you call her your stepmom, or
like my cousin, the rock, the crystal that she gave you?
Yeah, that was your mom's, right?
My like family, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I still have it. I've never taken it out of my car, actually. I have all the rocks in a specific place where I have like where people like give me things, and I've never taken it out. I always have it in there. I just had to tell you that.
Oh my gosh. You know how many people think it's so cool? Because like I was like, I tell people, because they always ask me what's up with the S8Nt Elektric tattoo, and I always go tell them about how we did a podcast with it. They're like, that is the smartest, coolest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, that was like, I always look at that like sometimes too, to remind myself like, you legit you have a band name on your arm that was made by the lead singer of the band. Like stuff like that just always keeps me up.
It's awesome.
And I have so many collecting stuff. And like at Aftershock, I got like, every time I got a guitar pick from a band, I would like find someone that was like a kid or something, and be like, here you go, this is from the band. They'd be like, you don't want it? I'd be like, I have a lot.
I have a lot. That's amazing.
And like, that's why I don't really worry as much going to shows. Like when I got to shows, it was always like, what am I gonna get? Oh, I want to meet them. How do I meet them? Now I just like
enjoy it. That's awesome.
I sit back, I relax, have a drink, talk to people. It's a whole experience. And like finally, like, 'cause I went to the whiskey on Thursday, and like getting to like do videography finally there, it was nice. It was just like whole surreal moment. I've worked House of Blues, now I can say I've done videography at Whiskey and all this stuff. It's just it's mind-blowing. I know I'm talking a lot about like how mind-blowing it is, but it's just like,
I think I mean that's a part of it. I think it's good. I like people feeling like seeing people like realize how much they've accomplished. I think it's really awesome.
Yeah, and I have so many accomplishments for next year, and I know you guys have a lot of stuff planned for next year. Speaking of like, I know you guys have a new song coming out November 7th. So tell me about the new song and how it came to be.
Well, it's called XTC, and actually, this song I started out as an instrumental like last year, and I was in the car, and I tried my first jiu-jitsu class, so that was like I gave it a try because like it was always a thing, you know. I just didn't feel like, you know, strong physically in that way.
Yeah.
So that was my first time doing jiu-jitsu, and you know, I got my ass handed to me, you know, but it was invigorating, you know.
Yeah.
It was like one of the most exciting things I've ever done. And I was in the car on the way from jiu-jitsu to rehearsal, and I just was like, I put the instrumental track on, and I was like, and then it just came out like the chorus, you know, I feel so alive, I could die, give me nameless ecstasy and stuff, because that's how I felt in that moment, because I finally had broken a glass ceiling that I had created for myself, you know. That was always something I'm like, I could never do that, I would never do that, and I did it, and I'm still doing it, and Bree does it a lot too now, which is awesome, and it's really changed my life. But so that song is literally like kind of what our band has become about, you know, which is breaking your own boundaries and finding out who you are, you know.
That's awesome, and I'm excited because I know since like we last talked, I love seeing you guys post stuff. I love it. I always share it. I legit have people go, hey, that girl with the curly hair, are you like really good friends with her or something? I see her story a lot. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm just like, oh yeah, she's a band down from LA. I always promote her stuff and everything. Like, cause like people to this day, they go, we'll do like an hour and a half, 2 hour podcast. They go, oh, is that like your longest podcast? And I go, no. I was like, you all love podcasts. Like, S8Nt Elektric came at like, you guys came at like 3 in the afternoon or something like that, and then we left at like 11 at night.
Yeah,
I think so. It was a long day, but it was so much fun. It didn't seem like it was that long though.
It didn't seem it was like that long. It was just like such a
fluid, very natural thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so funny.
I know. It's that beginning of this year to now. It's just that LA trip. That was the risk I took. You guys knew it was a big risk coming out here just to do all that for the first time, and I think that's what I needed to give me that push. Just like, all right, you know, you can go to LA and just do what you do. I think you can do some other things too. Getting to some other stuff. So, speaking of that song, XTC.
Yeah.
How would you compare it to your older track, So Far Away?
Oh, man.
Laughing so hard right now. 1,000 million times better, first of all. I love So Far Away. I mean, I do, but like, it just doesn't resonate with us. I think at that time, like, what happened is we formed the band and like people really wanted us to put out some music, so we put that song out. I don't dislike it. A lot of people actually like it, and I'm like, okay, great. Yeah. But like, it's just not the sound we're going for. It's definitely all of our so far, like our songs do sound very different than from each other. But XTC is better written in the sense, well, yeah, it's just more us, because I don't say it's not better written, because So Far Away is a really good written song. Yeah. I definitely think at that time my vocals are very different. For me, I had just started singing when I started the band. Yeah. So I have a lot stronger vocals now, and I know that I wasn't like the best. Like, I was the best at what I could be at that moment of my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now I have more control. I know how I want to sound, how I want to be, my own voice. You know, and I just think that now we have a vision of who we want to be. Even since we see you in January, like we really came up with a lot of like a brand for ourselves, and I feel like XTC resonates with us more than So Far Away.
We definitely, like, once everyone hears this album and hears this song, we found our thing, and I think all the singles we have so far out, I do, they have a little place in my heart, and I do like them. To me, it sounds like we were trying to figure out, like, what do we, what is our thing? Like, what do we want to say?
Yeah.
And so that's why each song is so different. It's like we were really experimenting with, like, going one way or going the other. And at this time, it's like everything just came together. Yeah. And you'll hear that in this song.
Do you feel like this, like, new sound's, like, more personal?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I would say out of all the songs, Live On, our most recent one, is the most... that sounds like where we're headed towards in a way. Also a little bit harder. We have like chuggier riffs, but then we also have like really beautiful like melodic songs as well. So yeah, I definitely feel like it's more personal.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get a little bit more personal with my podcast too, because like I do crazy stuff, but I always talk about like music on my podcast, but my fans, if they heard the stories of things that's happened that I've done, they'd probably be like, oh, all right. Like, I mean, I talked about this. I'll be talking about this on a future podcast, but like there's times where I've gotten arrested, like sat down on curbs, messed with my sheriffs, and I don't think you guys know. Before I was even in, I can't remember. It was like before podcasting became a thing. I was dating a stripper. Yeah, I've had some crazy stories, and if you guys want to hear more of those stories, please let me know.
I do. I think I do.
Yes.
I think that would be an awesome like extra in your podcast, because that's so interesting, and it's also you know, like watching the podcast. Yes, I want to watch all the bands and get to know them, but we also need to know who you are and like what you know. Yeah,
I have. Let me think. This is off like my whole thing I write down, but I'm gonna real quick. What would be a good one? Okay, simple one. One night, me and my friend were going to the park to smoke some weed, and we have this thing where we say we have bad looks at park at night because every time a cop shows up. So legit, I parked the car. We went to In-N-Out, went to the park. Legit, right as I parked and opened my door. Whoop, whoop. I was like, we didn't even get out the car. And then the cop goes, what are you doing? I was like, we're just here to eat our In-N-Out. And then he goes, yeah, right. My high ass pulls out a cheeseburger and goes, do you want one? I have an extra. And he goes, you're not allowed to be out here at night, sir. And I was like, can we just eat our burgers and go back home, because we're just trying to relax for a little bit. He'd be like, I'll be back here in 20 minutes if you're still here. Then, but that's a simple story.
That's so funny though. But that's so extra. Like, are you serious? I'm just trying to like.
Have you ever watched Harold and Kumar or no?
Yes.
Oh my God! Okay.
When he's like about to jaywalk and like no one's there, and then as soon as he takes one step,
we love Harold and Kumar. We love Harold and Kumar. So I feel like have you seen the second one too?
I think I've only seen the first one.
You should see the second one. It's Harold and Kumar go to Guantanamo Bay. It's really wild. But I feel like all your stories, you definitely like. If you've seen it, you'd get it. You get it.
I have a video. I'll put it right here. It's the most embarrassing video ever. But when I went to Vegas this year with my friend Nadine, I took a video of me at the end of the night on Fremont. They have a White Castle at the end of it, and I was shit-faced. And I decided I wanted to get us an Uber, but before I did that, I wanted to go inside of a White Castle to get food. So we get in line, and the video is of me just going, "White!" like screaming, "White Castle! White!" And then we have White Castle! We have White Castle! Harold and Kumar vibes, motherfucker. I'm fucked up. Totally twisted. Just go, Harold and Kumar vibes. I was so messed up. My friends died. Yeah, and then I got to the front of the line. I still remember this because I did black out, but this lady walks up. She was more messed up than I was, and she goes, "I'm not staying in this line. I'll give you a 20. You can keep the change. You just get me 2 sliders. 2 sliders like $3. I was like,
okay, paying
for your food and my food then. Instead of that, 10 sliders. I want 15 sliders. Yeah, I was really messed up. We got in the Uber, went back, and I legit fell asleep with a slider in my hand, just like
no.
Yeah, let me know if you want me to hear more of those crazy Chris behind the scene adventures. Those are, I even have some with bands. That's
bringing it all together. Yeah.
I know. I know it was early this year. You guys had a house show where you had like all the walls.
Oh yes, it was actually part of our music video, and ended up becoming a mini house show. So when after this, I'll show you our music video before it's released, and it's really cute. It's really cool. So it's a mix of us skydiving and a mix of the house show. So I had decorated the whole house. It looked like really sick. Even made like curtains, spray painted them, did like the whole thing, put papers on the walls and stuff like that. But we were gonna just mime it, play. But it for some reason the speaker was not loud enough, even though it was loud earlier. So we just ended up playing it. Yeah. And it was like a mini show. So we played a song about like 8 times, 9 times. It was fun. And then I love throwing little parties and stuff. So I decorated it really nice. And that was our little house show.
Yeah, my neighbor called the cops and. Well, she was just making a scene about it, like just talking to all the guests, like, hey, like, you gotta cut this out, like, where's the owner or whatever. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, yeah, it was a great time.
It set the tone.
For
the year, and what we did too is for like our album is called Off the Edge. I don't know if we didn't talk about the album.
I'm not sure if we did.
I don't think it was that time yet, right?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think this was pre.
Or no, I think we did do it.
I can't remember.
Okay, anyways. So our album is called Off the Edge, and so what it is, I have this like pink poster that says S8Nt Elektric 2024 Off the Edge, and I had everyone write down, and it was like, so it's loaded like 50 different things of something that they want, like things that make them uncomfortable to push in the best way to push them to be how to explain it? I'm like jumbling my words right now. Can you explain?
Like, how do you live off the edge? What do you do that's
risk?
Exactly.
What risks do you take that you're glad you took?
Yes, exactly what we were talking about earlier. Yeah. So on the thing, like people have the different things, like, or their hopes and dreams to get them to where they want to be. Like someone's like moving to LA, like, becoming a fashion whatever, or like I put like playing with S8Nt Elektric for the rest of my life, things like that. And it's a really cool, I see it every day, I wake up to it when I roll over in bed. It's like super inspiring. So that was a part of it too. I gave like a whole like speech too about like what we're about, and like how important it is to live like off the edge, because what it is, it's like so many people live how there's that saying on the edge, mm-hmm. You can take it in like off the edge, on the edge, whatever, all the different ways. It's just how you interpret it, right?
Yeah.
For us, I feel like when you're on the edge, you are afraid to take the next step in your life. Like, it's like, imagine you're like on the edge of something and you're afraid to jump because it's like so scary into the unknown. But majority of the time when you do it, you get the reward. It may take a little bit, but you will get it, because there's very few people who will jump off the edge to embrace and experience that new thing that will give them their fruits, of their labor. So yeah, that's what we're about, and that's what the whole vibe was during the party and like the thing. So it was really fun. Everyone understood it.
I know. I even took like a risk last night. I've been like debating on sending this email to a person that could better my stuff, and I've been just like overthinking of it. Like, it's only been 2 years, blah 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 blah. But I'll tell you more about it after. But like, I just last night was just like, send it. Just send it.
Live off the edge.
Yeah. I just sent that email, and I was just like, all right, let's see how this goes. I know. I was just like, but I think that's how it is. I think everything you do in life, when you go, oh, I'm glad I did that, I think those are your core memories. Because exactly how you said, you're living off the edge.
Yeah.
Let me see. Thinking of all of 2024, what show would you love to relive, or festival?
It's a hard one. How many shows have you played? We probably played like 10 or something.
I'm trying to rethink right now. I think we recently played at the Moroccan Lounge.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that, actually. Yeah. I was like, yeah, we have these festivals and stuff, but I don't know, like, I think even in our last one, I even told you, like, a smaller venue that we played, and I really enjoyed it. But I really enjoyed the Moroccan Lounge. It was our last show, but the reason why is because we now have, like, a show. Like, we've curated something to put together that's, like, always changing, but it's always the same, if that makes sense. Like, we have a lot of cues, and so we're putting this grand thing together for the audience to experience something, and I felt like that was our best moment to do that, because a lot of our band members are new this year, so we're getting, you have to put in your reps and play together and stuff like that. So I definitely feel like that'd be a fun one to relive. I obviously loved all the festivals and stuff, but we were still at that time learning and, like, curating everything to what it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think the Baltic Open Air was pretty awesome too. That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, I agree.
I really liked that show. I felt like, yeah, I'd probably choose that one. Because it's just, it's just cool playing a festival at night too. Because I feel like all my favorite artists, you see the shots of them playing at night, and it's like, I don't know, it's just cool. And they actually had
pyro.
They had pyro, which I had no idea, but then we watched videos back, they were like pyroing it up.
Yeah, like, I know.
And I was like, this is so sick to see us on stage.
And they did, like, a really good light show too, so it was like this crazy. I was like, whoa. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed that one too. I would say both. It's hard for me to choose. I guess, like, I think we did an amazing job for where we were at that point. But if, when we play another festival, I definitely feel like the next festival we play, I'm going to be like, that's it. Like, that's my favorite so far that we've done, because we've gotten to the point of, like I said, getting all, like, the eggs in our basket and, having them there, what we want and what we want our sound to be.
Honing in the, like, the transitions of the show and, like, all the things, like, that she has an outfit change now, and, like,
we have outfits now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, dude, it's cool, and, like, a whole, so that's the fun part for me too, is, like, thinking about how can we keep developing our show and making it more and more, like, when people see us, they're like, oh shit, this band, like, they have their stuff together, they're not just some, like, local dudes jamming out or whatever, you know what I mean?
And speaking of, like, all their new stuff, I'm trying to remember when I know I'm posting this like Monday before you release your new song, but it comes out. So, this Thursday, when they're watching it, they'll be this Thursday. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I was like, when I post it, I'm like, when am I posting this? So that way I know how far along. So, if you're watching right now, this Thursday, they're coming out with the new song, Ecstasy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still, like, tired. This weekend.
You're totally good.
Yeah. But if you're watching, also, don't pause right now. But at the end of it, go follow them, and keep up on it. And their YouTube will be right here as well. And because you're releasing the song the same day you're releasing the music video, or just yeah. All right. And it's also almost 2025. So what is, other than, like, the new music and stuff, what do you look forward to in 2025, or what is your new challenges you have set ahead of you?
Do you go first?
You can go first.
Okay. I'm looking forward to 2025 because 2024 was a very big, life-changing, life-altering year for me. I experienced a lot of emotions I never experienced before, like heartbreak, going to a hospital to take care of my mental health, losing friends, regaining friends I hadn't spoken to in, like, 5 years. So it was deaths. So it was definitely my first year of a lot of moments that were a lot, but they made me to where I am right now. And so I'm really excited. I mean, for me, like, personally, like, I don't do like I used to, but I don't do like the New Year, New Me thing. I kind of try to do it like New Year, right now, if that makes sense. Like I'm not going to start doing something in January to delay it. Like I'm going to do it as I can right now. So if I do it now, then by 2025, I'm already it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely am looking forward to all the festivals. I'm excited because we now are on a label. So I'm excited to see all the things that they have in store for us because they already had gotten us some cool like tours and stuff like that, like super fast. So I'm really happy about that. And I'm just excited to see us grow as a band and grow with our other bandmates and stuff like that. Definitely want to have them one day so with us so you can meet them and everything. They're like really cool and stuff. So that's for me. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to just a new year, I guess, in that sense, like of a new year, a new restart. And I know I just said like I don't do the new year, new me, but sorry, starting like 2025, it is a fresh slate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that. Just excited for the new adventures because I know there's going to be a lot. So
yeah, me too. I feel like this year was like the year kind of everything had to be demolished for something new to happen, and it's just kind of like we've been building a foundation for something that now we like. I feel like 2025 we finally get to really start on something.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and it's exciting because it's like you're doing all the like this year was just all the legwork. Like it took me like 8 fucking months to mix the album, and I was just losing my goddamn mind. And writing new songs and like obviously finding new band members is so hard and stressful, and I'm so glad we got the people that we did. They're amazing.
Really fast too.
It took us 3 months, but it was like the scariest 3 months because we had the festivals, and I'm like, we're not canceling festivals. We'll figure this shit out, and luckily we did, and they came in to save the day. But it's it's been a journey, and I'm really excited to like. Now we get to actually enjoy the fruits of the labor, in 2025, and which for me is touring. That's the fruit.
That's the fruit. Yeah, we put in a lot of work this year. It's like I'm like, oh man, like no one obviously knows that, but I think that's the best thing where it's like you do everything in silent and then you like announce it and push it out and stuff like that. So you can like really work on it without hearing other voices.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm right there with you as well because it's like. My first year of podcasting, it was just like, because I started in November of 21. Yeah, November 21. And that rest of that year, it was just like, I did one, and then like, it was just, then now it's 2023. And then like, last year, throughout the whole year, I was just like, doing very staggered, just like, I'll do it every once in a while, blah, blah, blah. And then December, I was like, all right, I want to do it see if I can do it every week, all year, and start working with bigger people as well. Plus, keep also having smaller people. I was trying to go back and forth.
Yeah. And
then I was just like, and then after like this whole year, seeing that I could do that, now it's like 2025. The amount of plans I have that are the amount of stuff I have planned, which I'll tell you after, is just like. Mind-blowing.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear
because because now it's just time for me because like you said, doing all the legwork of just like, all right, do this, do that, and now it's like now I'm about to have fun with it and just do me because now I have enough people behind me where I can just be me and not just be this super structured podcaster guy that just wants to bullshit. I want to be able to just have fun. I have fun with it, but I want to be able to have even more fun with it.
Yeah. And
that's why like this year I started adding like little things like segments of just like showing bands like here's a mugshot. What do you think they did? or like I'll like take pictures and go like I don't know if you heard a game. What do you meme?
What do you meme?
Yeah. I've heard of it. I don't know what it is.
So it's like you take like pictures of memes and then you have to like it's almost like a Cards Against Humanity thing and you put like a caption behind it.
Oh, okay, funny.
But I would take like concert photos, but sometimes I would take like funny photos of the band or members and be like, oh, this is my last one, this is my favorite, and they didn't even know about it. And I'd just be like, here you go. And they'd be like, oh. And like doing like little TikToks, like I started doing like one where I'll take like the oldest picture I can find of a band member, be like, "Can I get your autograph?"
That is so funny.
Yeah.
I've seen stuff like that
That's so
before.
cool.
And I was just like, and I love it because I did it a couple times, and it was, I think stuff like that. When I realized I started doing it, it brought this community together. Because I like would do it with every single band at the show before the show even started, and people were like, "Oh, did you do that thing with Chris? Did he do one with you too?" And be like, "Yeah, yeah." And then, like, it bonds people, brings people together, lets people sit back and just realize we're having a fun time. We're here to have fun, and that's what I like to do. Because like the first time I did that, and I had like a whole thing for the day set up for all the bands at the show, and I was just like, "Okay, I'm gonna do this at this time, then do this at this time," and have the bands have their own experience. And feel like they're not only at a show, but they're playing these games and having this fun. Like, I brought like a twister mat for the Mosh Pit. And it's just, that's why I love the music. And like you guys experiment with all these stuff, like the new outfits, the new style, making it more personal.
Yeah.
Overcoming all your stuff that you've went through, which kudos, because I mean, I still go through stuff too. And like you overcoming a lot makes me happy, because not a lot of people can overcome things.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
That's why we're doing this stuff too. You know, I think, you know, people need an outlet, and I hope more people do podcasts and do music and do stuff like that, because that has been there for me, like with everything. It's like being able to hear something awesome come out of what you've been through, or, you know, talk about it and see people like relate to it. It's important, you know, and it's special, and it's, I don't know, that's become my favorite part about, like, even though this year had a lot of things that really sucked, hearing what we created because of that is like, it just makes it all worth it, you know.
Yes. Like every time I do a podcast, not every time, but most times, I'll legit watch my first podcast I ever did.
Yeah.
And be like, damn, I was ass. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know anything about audio. I legit didn't know anything. I legit bought a camera from Best Buy and then just put it on a tripod and was like, all right, just press record. I got it. I didn't write no questions for the band. I just like was like, all right, just natural. Let's just do this stuff. And I sat down and just like, and then I did like a 30-minute one, went to my computer. I was like, okay, how to edit. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. And like, if you still watch to this day, it'll start off saying, thank you for watching. I was so bad at editing, but like the amount of stuff I've learned throughout the year, the 2 years I've done this, is in teaching myself how to do this, and having photographers, videographers, media techs help me out with this. Because people don't realize how many people make all this work.
Right.
Yeah, when it comes to like, because you do all the mixing and mastering.
Yeah. Well, not mastering, but mixing. Yeah. And
mixing,
recording, production, and stuff. Yeah.
That probably, because did you go to school or did you?
No, I just figured it out.
See, it's a thing.
At first, I thought it was like, oh, you just, you know, whatever. It's just faders. You're just bullshitting around, whatever. And then it sounded like dog shit, and I had to really learn. And it, you know, I mean, it took me 3 years. I realized 3 years is like, it's like my magic number for learning, being pretty good at something. You know, it takes me 3 years, and so like I kind of hit that mark this year, thankfully, for our first album. So I'm like, I'm so glad that this album, I'm like, all right, I'm genuinely proud of it. I've checked it with a bunch of other engineers, see if they think it sounds good. But yeah, it's an up and down process, and you kind of just have to just figure it the fuck out. I was looking for a mentor or whatever, and I couldn't find anybody. I had YouTube, you know, which is nice, of course, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know, it's like you can only look up and do so much research, but you have to do a hands-on. The amount of, every time I edit, I find something different I could do.
Yeah.
You find like, oh, what is this setting? Ooh, okay.
I didn't know I could do that. Saves me 20 minutes off of my usual process.
I know. Somebody was like, why can't you just edit on a laptop? And I was like, yeah, let me just narrow everything down that I need to line up perfectly with a little pad. Yeah. I need a mouse. I'm like, okay. Play. Nope. Back. Yeah. Yeah, the amount of, I don't know, 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 the amount of, work that goes into it, but like some people ask me and go, "Where'd you go to school?"
Yeah.
Like, how did you learn how to edit this and that? And people have asked me to help them edit, and I'm like, it's super. Now it's simple.
Right. It becomes simple after you fuck up a million times.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you're like, okay, now I know. You simplify it, and that's when it starts to become a little more enjoyable too, because you're not like pulling your hair out trying to figure out how to do things.
It used to take me 2 days to edit one podcast. Now it takes me about 4 or 5 hours, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's simple. I have everything structured. I have my intro and outro in a folder, and I just add intro, add the podcast, take the audio, line it up, could fuck with the gain and everything. Yeah, it's
nice. You have a method now.
I know the method is. Yeah, I can't really explain it. There's nothing to explain about editing. Speaking of like methods and stuff like that, you're telling me you have outfits now.
Yeah, we do.
What inspired your outfits?
Honestly, I really was tired of choosing outfits. You would think that I love dressing up. No, I don't. I just really want to perform and like sing. It's like the last. I always hate having to choose outfits. I hated it so much. Even my makeup, I have my squiggly thing I always wear. This like I created that because I didn't really wear makeup prior to being in the band, but then we started doing photo shoots, festivals, things like that. I was like, oh, I need to learn how to do that. So I had done this because I thought it was just a very easy thing to do. Little did I know that it was going to be a very messy thing to do every time. When we had gone on tour last year with Mother, we played so many shows, and like every day I was doing this, and like there was like glitter in my hair and like stuff, but I love it. That's the look. It's the logo, but that's where it kind of came up with. And our outfits too, they're these really nice Dickies jumpsuits, and right now I'm really into and learning a lot about street art and graph. It's really amazing to me, and it's like really important. It's been one of the bigger things that have been really helpful for me this year. And so me and my friend Nikki, we make stencils, and we stenciled the skull that I have right here on the back of all of our jumpsuits, and everybody has their own specific color. We have like band colors in general before, but there's like, I have pink. Our guitarist Sinner has lime green. He has red. Our drummer has purple, and then our bass player has blue. Those are like our main actual colors we use for a lot of our fonts and stuff like that. So it's really cool because it's like this sick jumpsuit, and then we're gonna add like patches in the front, and then we have like some cool S8Nt Elektric jackets like that are like gonna be official jackets for the band. We're gonna get them like embroidered and things like that. I just really I do enjoy uniformity in bands a lot. So we've taken really cool photo shoots that we've yet to post, and we've played with them at the festivals, and since the festivals now at every show we wear them. And then I have an outfit change with a bunch of mirrors, like actual mirrors, like on this one piece that I bought this one piece, and then like I use these mirrors from a music video that we have that's going to be our second single. It's called Mirror Image, and it's like a bunch of mirrors. So it's like pretty cool because it like reflects on the light and stuff like that. So that's the only outfit change right now, but I definitely want to get more uniformity in the band as we can continue. I really enjoyed it, and it just looks really cool.
Yeah, I even this year I got a jumpsuit made too.
Nice.
And I had the person that does my merch design it.
Nice.
I drew it out very horribly, but I was just like, because now I have like, it's like a mic stand on my leg, but it has like a thorn vine as like the cord going around with like skeleton middle fingers on the back of my leg.
That's so cool.
And then my logo's embroidered on my back. And then I have like pins that I got a pin from the other day that's gonna go on my jumpsuit. Like I have a couple on there, and then I just like messing around with it and like doing different styles because I got started being told by people like, I feel like you wear this one shirt a lot in podcasts. Look at me, I'm wearing different outfits. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just, I know that's one thing too, is like posting weekly, people notice what you wear a lot.
Yeah.
And like you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I guess I do wear that long sleeve a lot. Yeah, like I like how you like want to be more uniformity. Yeah.
It's also like when you go to a festival, you're like, who's that band? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
what? Like it kind of brings that like attraction. Like why are they wearing? It's like, oh, I don't like it, or oh, I love it. You know,
Yeah.
it brings like a spark of debate of like what are they trying to convey? What are they trying to do? It's art too. Like I said, I'm really into street art, so a lot of our things are like going towards that direction of street art. I've how do I word this the right way? People, not me, have done street art of S8Nt Elektric around town. And yeah, so that is pretty cool because it's really nice because I see our artwork everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I've just been really into just all that. And we went to this abandoned house in Topanga that everyone goes to, kind of near the beach. And it's like spray painted and stuff like that, and we took pictures there to match like the vibe of our like pictures, which I'll show you in a little bit. And they came out really cool. And I spray painted like a little mural at that abandoned house. It's gone now, but it was there, and it said like S8Nt Elektric with all our colors in a row and stuff like that. But yeah, like that's.
Did that start with the ecstasy video when you did the curtains? Or?
Yeah, it actually did. So I have them still. I spray painted these curtains to put to like cover, you'll see like when you go outside, just to make it look more cool in the house, you know what I mean? And I started getting into it, and then my friend Nikki and I become like best friends. We do everything together, and one of the things we do is make stencils and like just learn how to do street art and graph and all that stuff, and it's really fun, and it's very like off the edge for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of the outfits and a lot of the things going forth are very inspired by that. It's not like, I don't want to say like, oh, S8Nt Elektric is a street art band or whatever, but it's like a lot of our, you know, imagery and what that feeling and emotion of being a graph artist or a street artist is, it's what we want to convey to.
Yeah. Like, that's how I am now. I'm trying to set up my podcast. I don't want it to be like every other podcast. I want it to seem sloppy. And like, because I used to, in high school, I used to do graffiti and all that stuff, and now I'm getting back into doing stuff like that. And like when I go to venues, I always have things on me. Don't kill me, venues. You guys know I do it anyways. Who cares? I will always mark up places all the time. It's how I am, how I leave my mark. Like even for like Aftershock, they didn't ask me to do this, but I like printed out flyers. I'm like a big like old school put up a flyer kind of person. Yeah. And like do different styles, like get a bunch of flyers and like write out like the band name with the flyers and stuff like that. Just fun stuff like that, because it just like it gives you something to have fun to do, and also create. And someone else, you think someone else sees it, and you're just like, I wonder if they saw it and thought, oh, that's actually dope, or they like went to something because of that, or looked up something because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I always like about street art. It's very popular in LA, and also is very popular up in the Bay Area.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Very much so. Like, I'll show you after this a picture of this venue I did. The whole venue is legit a graffiti venue.
Oh, wow. What is it called?
The Phoenix Theater.
The Phoenix Theater.
In Petaluma.
That's
cool.
Okay, cool.
And it's just, you walk into the green room, it's the last venue Sublime played at.
Oh, wow, okay.
With the original singer and everything, and like the whole green room's graffiti.
Wow, that's so cool.
That's sick.
Definitely want to check it out.
Yeah. It's how I like finding different ways to do art. As I do podcasting, I do try to do street art sometimes, and then I do videography, photography, because you as well, you try to find new ways.
I do a bunch of different things. I think it's like super important, because going back to what you're saying of how you can get kind of burned out with certain things.
Yeah.
I like to have a balance of different like activities that make me who I am, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you get like, I think that used to happen to me more too when I was just guitar. Like my life was about guitar. I had everything was just like, I'm not good at anything else. This is the only thing I'm going to do. And then when you get burned out on that one thing and you don't know any other way to express yourself, it's like kind of depressing, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, once like I started kind of learning new stuff and like opening my mind a bit, like maybe I can do other things as well, and that's not bad. And I shouldn't have started getting, whatever, going to the gym or fighting shit, or like even writing or whatever it is. Like even songwriting is a completely different skill for me, than just being a whatever guitar player. So yeah, I feel like learning a bunch of different things has helped me a lot with not getting burnt out on music or whatever, because I'm always occupied.
Yeah, and like I also like trying new things. Like this LA trip, I tried new things. Like I went to Woody Harrelson's weed lounge called the Forest.
Where is that at?
Sick. What?
It's like right around the corner from the Sunset, and they have.
What is it called?
It's called the Forest. I think it's called the Forest. Or the Woods.
It's called the Woods. Well, I guess we got to go to the Woods because I just recently started smoking and I ran out of my sativa. That makes me very like alive and awake.
Oh yeah.
So I think we should go now.
It's really nice. If you would love it. I know you guys would love it too because you like nature.
Yeah.
Because you go in, it's a dispensary. Almost looks like in like this room kind of vibe. And then you go, you buy something. They always have deals and stuff. And then they give you this, they go, do you want to smoke the lounge? And you go, yes. And then they give you this wristband. You go into this lounge, and it's like a full jungle. They even have parrots.
And you can smoke?
Yeah. And you can order food and buy drinks there. And they have, like, you can even rent cabanas and stuff like that in there.
We gotta go with the band.
That's crazy.
So sick.
And it's all, like, lounge chairs, and it's, like, not, like, bright. It's, like, a super vibey...
That is so cool.
Do you need like tickets or something? Like, what?
No, you just all you do is walk in, you buy weed, and then you go into the lounge.
Okay, I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to go today.
Like here, I'll show you. I took a little snippet of it.
Damn, dude.
Not for like too long, but like there was barely anybody there. It was a vibe. I had to like sit in this like circle of people and got to meet them. We all smoked together, smoked our own stuff, and then just like they have like hot drinks there, like hot teas and like coffee and stuff. And it was just.
I wonder how late they stay open. Do you know?
9:30.
Okay, 9:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think it's 9:30. I may be wrong. I think it's 9:30. I stay up pretty late. I was there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
No, I probably would be too. But I would probably take like a book and relax and journal and everything there. That's so cool. I'm glad you told us about it. I would have never known.
So, yeah, that experience at the dispensary was just a whole magical experience, going to the Comedy Store and everything like that. But like even like the people I met, meeting the locals at the dispensary and getting to hear about their life in LA. Like one of them was like a very wealthy couple that lives like right around up the block from Sunset. And then like another one was like a girl that moved to LA from New York, and another guy's he moved from the Bay Area 10 years ago to LA. And then like going to the Comedy Store, and like I got to sit with like these girls that just flew in from Canada.
Wow.
And that's one thing I like about coming to LA is there's a lot more, compared to NorCal, there's a lot more tourists out here. So I like to hear people's life.
Yeah.
And like their experiences with it being here, or their experiences they've had up in where they're from. Like going into like that, have you met a fan or a person that you're just like very intrigued by their story or anything like that, like while you're like playing a show or just going out and having fun?
Yes, actually, I do. Sorry, I was like really trying to think, and then I was like, wait. So, I was recently in the mental hospital for about like 8 days, taking care of myself and stuff, and I had posted a video about it on Instagram, and there was this person that messaged me, and they told me that they were very happy that I posted that video because they felt not alone, and that when they were in the hospital too, that they'd play one of our songs called Someday, right? Someday, and they'd play it for like all their friends that they made in the hospital, and that they would be like, someday we're gonna be better, someday we're gonna get out of here, and like they would listen to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so crazy. Like I would have never known that if I would have not have come out with my own story, but like that was definitely like a very impactful thing for me, because I was like, wow, like that's not even our best work, and people are inspired and it helps them. I'm like, I can't imagine like the new things that we're doing to help them even heal and feel better about themselves too. So that was a story that definitely, like, when I read it, I was like, wow. And I knew this person very personally, so I didn't know that about them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, more people, kind of tell her their personal stories than me, of course, because I'm like, I think not as open sometimes, online and stuff like that about my personal stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of people that, I mean, I'm the singer too, so
yeah,
that makes sense. But yeah, that was that's one of them I can think of. Yeah. That was recent.
Have you? But how about like Nico? Have you ever been to like say you went to like a coffee shop, sat down, and like someone just like randomly started talking to you, and you're like, or like at a library or somewhere, and you've talked to somebody. Where was like a person that you've met that you're just like, that life, like hearing about like their path is kind of like intriguing to me.
There's a lot of people. That's something I'm realizing a lot more. I don't know. It's just becoming more and more mind-blowing to me that everyone is equally as complex, and everyone has like an entire life of their own, and sometimes like that's obvious, in a way, but like really realizing that like we're all the same. Like, everyone is the same, famous, not famous, rich, poor, whatever. Like, we're all the same. We've all been through a lot of the same shit, you know? And so it's just realizing that has helped me connect to a lot more people. And yeah, I mean, since being in LA, it's kind of crazy because you'll just talk to someone and they're doing this and that, or they came from somewhere else, and you get to hear their stories that are just very relatable too, you know? And you realize that like everyone's here for a different reason. Everyone's trying to do something, and everyone wants to be more than what they are right now, you know? It's hard for me to think of a specific example, to be honest, but yeah, that's just something I've been thinking about a lot lately.
That's awesome. It is true too. And I want to thank you for letting me hear your guys' stories, because it's almost like a therapy.
Yeah.
And all the bands I've ever had on, it's like a therapy of just talking stories and realizing how much you can compare and can contrast.
Yep.
But thank you so much again. You guys are always awesome.
Thank you for having us.
And all their stuff will, of course, be down here below. And this Thursday, their new single comes out, Ecstasy. And go listen, watch. Even if you listen and watch it once, watch it again. And we'll catch you next week, Mosh Pit. Later.